Very good morning, everyone. I'm FAREES Rahman, and I'll be your faculty for ancient and medieval history for this APEC batch. All right, kaise ho sab log? How are you all doing? Okay, barely a month and 10 days to go for prelims. Stress, pressure, kaise? Peak, manageable, unmanageable. It will be fluctuating like a sinusoidal wave between manageable and unmanageable. You know what we call it, contained chaos. This is what pressure with respect to UPSC is. As long as it's contained, it should be fine. And we'll try to cover ancient and medieval as extensively as possible in the next few days. Okay, and पहले strategy से start करते हैं. We'll see various trends and the strategy you should take for ancient and medieval. So the reason why ancient and medieval has become so important is because of this reason. Okay, 2018 and before. Okay, लोग पढ़ते नहीं थे, मतलब it's like चलो दो क्वेश्चन आते हैं, एक उसमें से एक तो वैसे भी बिना पढ़े बना लेंगे. And only people who prepared for forest services, exclusively for forest services, used to study ancient and medieval. And remaining बस थोड़ा NCERT भी पढ़ते थे, and that's all. Nobody used to study that in much deep. Okay, the trend remained by and large same till 19, but when it was 20 and 21, where they realized that the weightage of the subject has become much more important. Okay, especially with respect to 2021, there were 9 questions. There were 3 questions overlapping with art and culture. If you include that, that will be 12 questions, but purely from an ancient and medieval point of view, okay, there were about 9 questions, and that means that it has become no more ignorable. Okay, you have to study that. And while studying ancient and medieval, yes, you face a lot of difficulties because syllabus itself is too much. Okay, ancient and medieval syllabus is too much. Questions are very diverse, okay, and questions can be picked from anywhere, okay, from any nook and corner of the subject. However, there are key areas where questions have been constant, okay, questions have been repeatedly asked. We'll see that shortly, and we'll see, since the weightage has increased, okay, how to focus on various topics, what strategy you should adopt. Okay, and how to cover this in a quick and a comprehensive manner. That should be our target, because ancient and medieval is not like economy or polity, where syllabus and all is definite and conceptual based. It is by and large factual. Okay, and hence you should focus on having and covering the subject very quick and as comprehensively as possible. All right, and to begin with, I wanted to ask you guys, like, what is the source you have been studying ancient and medieval from? NCERT, old wala, naya wala? Old one, the R.S. Sharma and Satish Chandra. Okay, all right. And anybody who has studied new NCERTs? You have studied new. You have studied. Anybody who has studied Tamil Nadu class 11th? Okay. So, ये 3 book पढ़ते बच्चे लोग this thing. So, you have studied Tamil Nadu? Poonam Dahiya you have studied. All right. Great. So majority of them will study the NCERTs, especially the old NCERTs, or the Tamil Nadu history, the new edition, okay, which is a good book. Okay, new NCERTs se bhi there have been questions. Okay, but as long as you have studied old NCERTs and or either or Tamil Nadu history class 11th, okay, that should be sufficient. Keep your sources limited, okay, and usi ko multiple times you have to revise, okay, ताकि you internalize it, and because it's quite comprehensive, okay, and direct questions भी आते हैं वहाँ से, so try to keep it as repeatedly as possible. Okay, so same book you can study over and over again, and class also will try and cover all the important topics from where the questions are coming. All right. To begin with, we'll see the nature of questions that has been asked in the past 5 years. Okay, this is the trend or the nature of questions that they are asking. Okay, first they are asking about certain key events from ancient and medieval India, like they are what happened after the arrival of Babur, what led, what were the impacts or the consequences of arrival of Babur, right? So or the establishment of Delhi Sultanate. Okay, so they are asking the key events, okay, that happened during the ancient and medieval India. Then they are asking about concepts, okay, the concepts such as Samanta system, feudalism, Mansabdari system, Jagirdari system, Iqtidari system. So there are also questions on concepts. And one favorite area of UPSC is the terms, okay, ancient and medieval terms. Okay, so they will pick from any of the source and they will ask what the term is. Okay, so this is important and a favorite area of UPSC. However, last year, मतलब 2021 का prelims जो था, उसमें they had not asked this questions regarding the terms. Then they are asking about places, like last year they had asked about Burza Home, okay, and Chandraketugad. Then a couple of years back they had asked about Kakatiya ports. Okay, so important ports, capital cities, okay, and places have been asked. And then one another important area that has, or the trend that has started over past 2-3 years is a chronology. Like they had asked last year ki matlab after the decline of Guptas and the rise of Harshavardhana, which are the dynasties that ruled over northern India. Okay, so chronology pe bhi questions पूछ रहे हैं. And then the religions, Buddhism and Jainism. However, last year there was no question, but the past before that, if you ignore last year before that, Buddhism and Jainism was one of the most favorite areas for UPSC. Anyways, you have already studied, I think Umesh must have already covered Buddhism and Jainism in art and culture class. And then personalities, like they have asked about Ashoka, right, and last year they had asked 3 great, Bhavabhuti, Hastimalla, okay, so God knows who they were, but they are asking even personalities and playwrights. So these are the broad nature of questions that they are asking. Okay, so we'll just have a look at the questions now. Okay, because on each of this thing. Okay, we won't discuss the questions. We'll just have a look at that. Discussions we'll do it at the last class, and then we'll adopt a strategy for all these type of questions. Okay, so this is a question based on key events. Like I told you, the arrival of Babur into India led to which of the following: introduction of gunpowder, introduction of arch and dome, establishment of Timurid dynasty. So it is it's about the key events. Okay, so what happened after the arrival of Babur, or the consequences of establishment of the Mughal rule. Okay, and this is a question on concepts with reference to Indian history. Which of the following are the essential elements or of the feudal system? Okay, a strong centralized political authority, weak provincial authority, emergence of administrative structure based on land, okay, lord-vassal relationship. So this is a question on Samanta system or the feudal system of ancient India. Okay, and the next question I told you with respect to terms like Kulyavapa and Dronavapa. So same things, similar things that have been asked. Okay, and this is one of the favorite areas of UPSC. And with respect to places, this is from last year, like match the following with Burza Home, Rocket Shrine, Chandraketugad, terracotta art, Ganeshwar, copper artifacts. So this is about the historical place and why it was famous for. So this is about the places, and this is about the chronology. From the decline of Guptas until the rise of Harshavardhana. Okay, which of the following kingdoms were holding power? So this is like a little bit of what do you say? Difficult question because they have given multiple options and these are not so well known dynasties. Okay, so that becomes a challenge. Then about the personalities, who among the following rulers advised his subjects through this inscription. So this, they have given the content of the inscription and they are asked us to guess. Okay, and regarding the books, I have told you these are the important books. Okay, Tamil Nadu History class 11th, new edition. Okay, Ancient India by R.S. Sharma and Medieval India by Satish Chandra, either or both. Okay, if you have studied the first one, okay, you stick to that one. If you studied the next two, you can stick to the next two itself. Okay, now is not the time to start a new book. Okay, whatever you have studied, okay, revise that multiple times. Okay, remaining, okay, we'll try and cover that in the class as extensively as possible. Okay, kindly, okay, 1 month before prelims, okay, it's not advisable, okay, to start any new book, okay, let alone for ancient and medieval. जो कुछ भी आपने पढ़ा है, stick to that, okay, and after that, okay, whatever we'll try and cover it in the class itself. Okay, and these are the important areas where you should focus, where the questions have been asked repeatedly. Harappan civilization, Vedic age, Mauryas, the Guptas, Mughals and Delhi Sultanate, very important, and the terms. Okay, along with that, art and culture में Buddhism, Jainism पढ़ा होगा, and then Sufi and Bhakti. Okay, These are the two other areas. Okay, Harappan civilization, by and large every year there will be at least one question. Okay, Vedic age, alternate years or by and large there will be questions. Maurya is very important. Guptas पिछले साल नहीं आया था, so this year there is a high chance that they will ask about Guptas. Mughals and Delhi Sultanate से at least one question each you can expect in your exams. Okay, terms have been very important. पिछले साल नहीं पूछा था. We'll see. Okay, पता चल जाएगा June 5th को. Okay, but however terms are very important, and in the class we'll try and cover them as well as extensively as possible. Okay, so these are the important areas, okay, where you can expect the great chunk of questions to be asked from in your exam. Okay, now this is the things which you can conveniently ignore. Okay, do not read any stories or myths. Dates are not important. Chronology is important. Which dynasty or which king, that is important. Chronology is important. अभी अशोका का coronation इस year हुआ था. Okay, Ashoka was born this year. So dates are not important. Buddha was born this year, or Akbar was born this year. Dates are not important. Chronology is. Okay, so do not confuse dates with chronology. Okay, dates as in specific dates. Okay, chronology is not. And uncertain events. Okay, where there is no clarity about among the scholars about what happened, about the arrival of Aryans. Okay, so all those controversial topics or those things which there is no clarity, okay, can also be conveniently ignored. Okay, so this is the by and large, and we'll now talk about what strategy we should adopt with respect to each and every aspect. With respect to key events and concepts, now these two are important aspects of your prelims. So your basic books and class should suffice. Matlab, almost all key events and concepts will be covered in your basic books and your class. Okay, so this should suffice. Terms in our class we'll try to cover them as extensively as possible, but it may not be exhaustive. Okay, because कहीं से भी उठा सकते हैं term. Okay, so we'll meet a lot of terms both in ancient India and medieval India. We'll try and cover them as extensively as possible. Okay, but by and large at least elimination method से बनने जैसा we'll try. Okay, in the worst case scenario. Okay, so we'll try, and at the end we'll also practice previous year questions, and we'll see how to use what you have studied in the class and apply it to the questions that have been asked in previous year UPSC papers and get them right. Because see, whenever you are studying a subject like ancient and medieval, you should always keep cost benefit analysis in your mind. Matlab, the time how much you are investing, that is the cost. Okay, and how much benefit you are receiving. Okay, अभी ऐसा नहीं कि you can study ancient and medieval for 60 hours, 70 hours. Okay, you need to see that you invest a minimum amount of time and you get the maximum returns. अभी पिछले बार मैंने बोला कि 9 to 10 questions आए थे. Okay, it's not that you have to get all the 10 of them right. Okay, there will be 1 or 2 which will have absolutely no clue. So it means if you do not have any clue, that means nobody else, okay, or at least 90% of the people who have seriously writing this exam will have no clue over that. So those 2 questions or 1 question is not what you should worry about. You should worry about the rest 7 to 8 questions which everybody is going to attempt and get them right, or by and large get them right. So if everybody is getting 5 or 6 right, you should try and get at least 6 or 7 right. Okay, so it is, the game is there in that 7 to 8 questions, not in that 1 or 2 questions which nobody knows. Okay, if you don't know, the chances are that anybody who is seriously prepared for this exam will also not know. Okay, you don't have to worry about those questions, or उस 2 question के लिए you cannot spend eternity preparing. And it's prelims, you don't have to get 200 out of 200, you just have to get above the cutoff. Okay, so always keep I have designed the class in such a way that cost benefit or the time benefit method, where we'll try to invest the minimum amount of time and try to get the maximum outcome or output out of it, right? So do not worry about those 1 or 2 questions. Okay, so worry about those questions which are easy, like key events, concepts, which everybody else will going to attempt. Okay, or 1-2 question के लिए you don't have to worry about it. If you don't know, okay, chances are that majority of them will not know. Okay, so it's not like conceptual that you know one concept, okay, like like GDP or national income, that you will apply that and get it right. When it's completely factual, okay, the logic and the concepts, okay, do not generally work, okay, because it is a factual subject. Okay, so there are limitations in applying logic and in applying concepts. Okay, so acknowledge that limitations. Okay, try and target about 75 to 80% of the questions. अगर आपका luck अच्छा है, Okay, so probably all the 10 questions or 9 questions what they will ask will come either from your class or from your the standard textbook you have studied. Okay, but chances are, you being practical, okay, there will be 1 or 2 extremely high bouncers which you will not be able to manage. Okay, so don't worry about that. Remaining there will be bouncers where by applying elimination method, by applying little bit of knowledge, you can get them right. That we will see in the classes. Places again, most of the places will try and cover in class. अगर आप जब आपका तमिलनाडु हिस्ट्री और NCERTs पढ़ रहे हो, so just go through any new place that is there. Okay, see if, especially if it's a port city or a capital city, okay, or a trading center, that becomes very important. Or there is some historical aspects like a rock cut site, or let's say there is some source of raw materials. Especially in class 11 Tamil Nadu book, okay, the new edition, they are given various tables where they are like, in Harappan civilization, they have given a table where they used to source various raw materials like statite, okay, terracotta, okay, from where they used to get that. Okay, so whenever these tables comes, okay, try and focus on that. Okay, so these small things, okay, questions will be picked from there. Okay, so pay attention to that. Okay, with respect to chronology, okay, so chronology, you have seen the question, like they are asking small dynasties or not so well known dynasties that existed. So what we'll do is, there is a animated video, okay, and I'll share you the link, and in the last class, okay, we'll see that video in the class also. Okay, so in that he shows the rise and fall of various dynasties, okay, and he has by and large included the small and medium dynasties as well. He has missed a couple, but this should suffice. But it will give you a chronological idea, okay, in an animation where there are various dynasties in a chronology, starting from Vedic age up till modern India. So we have to restrict it to ancient and medieval because modern ke you would know, right? So ensure that you watch that video matlab once in a while, okay, and you keep a track of which dynasty comes after what, like when do Kanva comes, when do Shunga comes, right, when do Vallabhis comes, when do Guptas comes, later Guptas, okay, rise of Pushyabhuti, Mokri, okay. So just remember the video, okay, and by and large that should able to that will enable you to handle this chronology questions. Okay, do not spend time going through small dynasties and by hatting them. Okay, just watch the video and by and large that should work. Okay, it's a 10-minute video, and okay, if you watch it like I'd say 7-8 times before prelims and 1 day before prelims, okay, so याद रहेगा. Okay, but if you don't 1 day before अगर direct उठाओगे video तो याद नहीं रहने वाला है. So अभी every week एक बार देख लो, okay, मतलब गौर से ध्यान लगा के, एंड एक दिन पहले देख के जाना पड़ेगा क्योंकि इट्स अ कम्प्लीटली एनिमेटेड वीडियो. ओके, इंपॉर्टेंट डायनेस्टीज तो याद रहेंगे, क्रोनोलॉजी, गुप्तास, मौर्यास, यू नो दैट गुप्तास कम आफ्टर द मौर्यास, ओके, एंड हर्षा कम्स आफ्टर द गुप्तास, सल्तनत कम्स आफ्टर सॉरी मुगल कम्स आफ्टर द सल्तनत. ओके, वो तो याद रहेंगे जो छोटे छोटे होंगे. ओके, एंड पे अटेंशन टू साउथ इंडिया एज वेल. ओके, पिछली बार नॉर्थ इंडिया पूछा है, सो पे अटेंशन टू साउथ इंडिया, द डायनेस्टीज दैट आर राइजिंग ओवर साउथ इंडिया. एंड और एक चीज़ आपको याद रखनी पड़ेगी वो वीडियो देखने के टाइम पे कि क्रोनोलॉजी मतलब कंटेम्प्रेरी, मतलब नाउ गुप्ताज और कंटेम्प्रेरी ऑफ हु. ओके, नाउ साउथ इंडिया में इंपीरियल चोड़ास, ओके, और कंटेम्प्रेरी ऑफ विच डायनेस्टी, ओके, इन द नॉर्थ. ओके, सो कौन था, सो उस क्रोनोलॉजी की को भी आपको ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. ओके, दे मे आस्क this dynasty or this king was contemporary of this thing. So information about kings are also given, okay, in that video itself. So thoda speed kam karke if you watch it few times, that should take care by and large about the chronology. Okay, religions तो art and culture में आपने पढ़ लिया होगा, so we will not be going too much in depth about religions. Okay, so we don't have to overlap. Sufi bhakti देख लेंगे. Okay, we'll study Sufi bhakti in detail in the class. And regarding personalities, at the end of the class I will give you a handout. Okay, and सारे personalities को, okay, we have sorted them in type wise, like kings कौन थे, playwrights कौन थे, dramatists कौन थे, poets कौन थे, science and tech वाले कौन थे. So उसको भी थोड़े 1-2-3 बार देख लो. Okay, to the extent of elimination याद रहना चाहिए. Okay, so it will be just like they will give like Bhavabhuti, Hastimalla, who were they, whether they were playwrights, whether they were temple architects, whether they were poets or whether they were kings. So utna just see the categories and broad names, मोटा मोटा याद रख लो, and to the extent of elimination उसको रट्टा मारने की and like by hatting, don't waste your memory over that. Okay, to the extent of if you have seen that few times, let's say 3 to 4 or 5 times, you should be able to at least eliminate ki matlab which category that individual or a group of people will belong, because these are the questions which is completely factual. There is no logic here, okay, there is no guesswork, okay. So whatever if you attempt it, that will be you are trying your luck, okay, blind luck. Agar sahi hota hai to it will be coming down to your luck, okay. So personalities ka just refer to the handout, okay. So this will be your broad strategy what will take in the class, okay. And do not, because chronology ka at the end of the class we'll watch the video on personalities as a handout, so do not forget about 5 and 7, okay, chronology and the personalities, because questions have been asked, okay, and chances are that questions will be asked. So since you will be by and large studying it at home, okay, ensure that you spend adequate amount of time, okay, to study those things, okay. ज़्यादा देर नहीं लगेगा, okay, both combined you'll finish it in 20 minutes or 25 minutes once, okay. So you just have to multiply that by 5 to 6 times for you to remember, okay. So this is about the strategy we'll take in the class, okay. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me now regarding the strategy, or we'll begin with the class. Yes. I can't hear you. Could you be just a little loud? Concepts as in, like I told you, no, this they had asked about feudalism in India, okay. They have asked about mansabdari, they have asked about jagirdari, they had asked about iqtadari system. So these are the by and large administrative and political concepts which existed during ancient and medieval India, and they are very few in number, okay. So it's covered in your basic books, and we'll try and cover almost all the important concepts in class as well, okay. So concepts will try and cover as detailed and as concise in class as possible. Oh, so all the PPTs we are using in the class will be shared to you after the class, okay. From tomorrow onwards, I will ask them to share before the class only, okay, so that you will have a reference before we start the class, okay. So we will be beginning with ancient India, and we will beginning very briefly about क्या हो गया इसको. Okay, so we'll be beginning very briefly about Stone Age, okay, and we'll begin with the classification of Stone Age, and most important questions that have been asked here are from Neolithic Age, okay. So far nothing much about Paleolithic Age or Mesolithic Age, okay, and the two in Neolithic Age they have asked about the places, okay, like last year they had asked about Burzahom, okay, and I think 2 years back they had asked about as Shogawara, which was a Neolithic site, okay. So there are various classification of Stone Age, okay, and based on various aspects such as geological age, stone tool technology, subsistence base. Right. But before we can begin here, okay, so why do we call it a Stone Age? You know, we have various terms, na? Matlab Stone Age hai, Metal Age hai. So what are these reasons, or why do we call it as a Stone Age? So tools are made from stones. Any other reasons? Today also we have tools that are made of stones, right? Dominant tools. Okay. So dominant technology or dominant tool types will be based on stone. Okay. Today we are in digital age because our dominant technology what we use, okay, is digital. Okay. Artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, blockchain, okay, and Internet 4G, 5G, right. So because of this we are in this era of digital age where we are surrounded by information and communication technology, okay, and hence the name digital age, right. So before that, let's say 100-150 years back, we are in industrial age where coal, okay, fossil fuels were recently discovered, okay, and that was industrial age or the second industrial revolution. Before that, we had the first industrial revolution, okay, jahan pe the mass based production began, okay, instead of traditional artisans and handicraft based industries, okay, and here the dominant technology that was prevailing here was stone tool technology, okay, and when the metal started, okay, the first metal was copper in India, okay, and across the world copper, okay, then it was copper age or Chalcolithic age or beginning of metal age, फिर bronze आ गया, so bronze age हो गया, then with the coming of the Aryans, okay, the iron age began during end of early Vedic age and starting of later Vedic age. So these are the ways where the historians have classified prehistory and ancient history into, okay. We begin with Stone Age, then the Metal Age, that is Chalcolithic age or the Copper Age or the Bronze Age, that is the Harappan civilization, and with the coming of the Aryans, okay, that is the beginning of Iron Age. One thing, like statutory information what I wanted to give it to you here is, अभी समझ लो कि हम यहाँ पे बहुत सारे टेक्नोलॉजीज पढ़ेंगे, अभी यहाँ पे स्टोन टूल टेक्नोलॉजी है, सो अगले एज में भी दूसरा टेक्नोलॉजी पढ़ेंगे. Just because we moved on from one technology to other technology doesn't mean the previous technology was stopped, okay. So we are studying the technology that defined that age. अभी we are in the digital age, मतलब computers है, सब है, doesn't mean we have stopped using typewriters and landlines. Typewriters अभी भी है ना, landlines अभी भी है. So this age what we are here 2022 is defined by the dominant technology of the age, okay, which is defining it, which has revolutionized it, okay. So now when the stone tool technology advances, okay, doesn't mean the previous technology what we studied, okay, was stopped, okay. Same thing, till today we are using stone tools, right. So doesn't mean that we are not using. So we are focusing on the dominant technology. Why I am telling you this? Because sometimes UPSC mentions, like they will give a statement in middle Paleolithic age only flake tools were used. So now we will say, oh, dominant technology hai, okay. So the flake tools we have studied in middle Paleolithic age, okay, this is right, okay. So when you say that the flake tool technology was there, doesn't mean the technology that was studied previously, that is the core technology, was stopped, okay. Keep this in mind. All right. So we'll begin with the classification of Stone Age, okay. Lower Paleolithic age began long time ago, okay, during the lower Pleistocene period, okay. This is the geological age, okay, lower Pleistocene, okay, which started from 2 million years ago and lasted up to 50,000 years back, okay, or BCE, before Common Era. So the geological age is the lower Pleistocene, and the stone tool technology that was used, okay, the stone tool technology that was used was core technology of making stone tools, okay. So the core technology, and the subsistence base. So the subsistence base means how they procured their food, on what they survived, okay. they were surviving on hunting and gathering. Okay, they are surviving on hunting and gathering. So, lower Paleolithic age, the corresponding age, geological age is lower Pleistocene. Okay. The stone tool technology that is used is core technology, okay, and the subsistence base is hunting and gathering. Now, core technology means they will take us medium sized rock, okay, and using some other rock they will try and shape that medium sized rock itself, okay, into a burin or into a scraper, into a hand axe. Okay. So, this is a stone tool technology, but the size of the rock will be quite big, okay, and just it will be shaped by using some other rock. Okay. So, this is the core technology. The next age is Middle Paleolithic. And the geological age that corresponds to Middle Paleolithic age is Middle Pleistocene, and dominant stone tool technology is flake, whereas the subsistence base remains hunting and gathering. So, remember, just because flake started being used here does not mean that core technology was stopped. So, the next age is the Middle Paleolithic age, and the geological age is Middle Pleistocene, and stone tool technology was flake and subsistence base was same, hunting and gathering. Next is the Upper Paleolithic age, okay, and the geological age that corresponds to that is Upper Pleistocene. The dominant stone tool technology is blade, and subsistence base remained the same. Okay, the subsistence base remains the same. Kindly note that entire of Middle, Upper and Lower Paleolithic age is called as the Old Stone Age. Okay, so in Tinoko, the Paleolithic age is called as the Old Stone Age. Paleolithic age is called as the Old Stone Age. Next, we will move on to various Paleolithic sites. Okay, एक बार देख लेते हैं. Okay, and after going home, once you get the PPT, you can also have a further look. Okay, so Pahalgam in Jammu Kashmir. Okay, important site. Okay, and the most important ones here Bhimbetka, Adamgarh and Bagor. Okay, Chopani Mando is another important site. Okay, Hunchgi and Lingsur and Attirampakam. Okay, these are the important sites. Okay, so just have a look here, since anyways you will get this and you can have a look at that later. So Pahalgam, Bhimbetka, Adamgarh, Bagor, Hunchgi, Lingsur, Chopani Mando and Attirampakam. Okay, these are the important Paleolithic sites from where stone tools belonging to Paleolithic age, blades, flakes, hand axes, cleavers, burins and the subsistence base throughout the Old Stone Age or the Paleolithic age remains hunting and gathering. Now let us move on to the next aspect, that is the Mesolithic age, okay, also known as the Middle Stone Age. Mesolithic age, also known as the Middle Stone Age. Anybody knows the geological age? Yes, geological age is Holocene and stone tool technology is microliths. Now, what happened during the transition from Paleolithic age to the Mesolithic age was the men realized the importance of having smaller, sharper and precise tools. We saw how the nature of core was. Core was quite considerable. Okay. Then flake was also a little big. Okay. Blade was also slightly bigger. Now we have seen their subsistence base. By and large, they survived on hunting and gathering. Okay. And when they went to hunt wild animals, that meant you have to go close to hunt the animal because you are carrying a bigger tool, because it's big. And one disadvantage of having a big tool is you cannot throw it from far. और जब आप जंगली जानवर के पास जाते हो शिकार करने के लिए, कभी कभी शिकारी खुद शिकार बन जाता है ना. 15 लोग गए थे, बस 10 लोग लौटे, है ना, Paleolithic age में. So they realized the importance of having smaller, sharper and precise tools, and for this reason the transition to microliths. Okay. Microliths were those tools having dimensions of 1 centimeter to 5 centimeter. So छोटे छोटे tools थे, so 1 centimeter to 5 centimeter. And these microliths can be classified into two types: geometrical and non-geometrical. Okay, geometrical and non-geometrical. Abhi geometrical tools such as triangles, crescents, trapezies, and non-geometrical tools like any other irregular non-geometrical shape. So these sharper and more precise tools allowed these people to hunt from far, okay, to have further developments with respect to fishing, okay, and this was the microliths. Again, I am reminding you, just because microliths is a dominant tool technology doesn't mean core, blade, flake were stopped. Okay, they were also used, but the most defining technology of this age was microliths. And subsistence base, along with hunting and gathering, domestication of animals started. Plus hunting and gathering. This is Mesolithic age or Middle Stone Age. The geological age is Holocene. Stone tool technology is microliths. The dimension of microliths is 1 centimeter to 5 centimeter. Okay, the microliths can be further subdivided into geometrical tools and non-geometrical tools. And the subsistence base, one major change what we are witnessing here is the domestication of animal started along with the hunting and gathering. Okay, so keep that in mind, hunting and gathering continued. All right. So these are the important Mesolithic sites. Okay, again Bhimbetka, Adamgarh, Bagor, Chopani Mando, Sarai Nahar Rai, okay, and Laganaj. Okay, so these are the important Mesolithic site. So now let's move on to New Stone Age, okay, or Neolithic Age. The geological time period is same, Holocene itself. So the dominant technology is polished and ground tools. That meant they started polishing the tools for better grip, better durability, okay, using some pigments, using other stones. Okay, so polished and ground tools was the defining stone tool technology. Okay, even the microliths were polished. Okay, even the bigger core tools, flake tools, all polished. So the polished and the ground tools. And one important change that was witnessed here was the beginning of agriculture. So beginning of agriculture. So domestication of animals भी था, hunting gathering also there, but this age saw the beginning of agriculture. So agriculture है, so कौन से crops they used to cultivate? Which all crops? So the most important crops that were grown here are barley, wheat, rice. So most important was barley, okay, and also millets. ठीक है, barley, wheat, rice, millets. Could you be a little loud? It's just a trend in the evolution of human beings. Okay, see, there are various anthropological theories. Okay, initially the crops used to grow in wild. Okay, first they domesticated the animals. Okay, then they got the need that they can domesticate the crops as well. Also, most importantly, there was growth in the population. So when there is a growth in the population, the needs increases. Okay, you need to meet your subsistence base. Okay. We'll see. Okay, it's not like the well evolved family, but a type of community based living started during the Neolithic period. Okay, those are anthropological studies. Okay, but let us restrict ourselves to history. Okay, because time come hai na, prelims are. But very interesting. Okay, the beginning of agriculture. First time. Okay, what is feeding us today, and it started in the Indian subcontinent during Neolithic age. So barley, wheat, rice, and millets. So did these people grow barley? हाँ या ना बोलो? Did these people? Yes. Rice, wheat, ragi? No. No. ये millets क्या है? ऐसे यूपीएससी यही करता है. They'll give ragi. क्लास में millets पढ़े थे and option में ragi है. You will conclusively mark करे ragi तो नहीं है. Millets is the class of those ragi, jawar, bajra, है ना. So millet is a collective term. Okay, always be mindful of that, है ना. So millets बोल दिया है and you are conclusively will mark wrong and then बाहर आके की देखते हो, right? So yes. First evidence in Mehergarh. That's all. Is your question? See, the evidences are found from Mehergarh region in modern day Balochistan region. Okay, there are small places like Amri, Nal, Kuli. Okay, we cannot say that this was the beginning point. Okay, but it definitely is from that modern day Balochistan region where we have various sites like Amri, Nal, Kuli, Zob. Okay, and Mehergarh is one of that, and it is considered to be the oldest Neolithic site. Okay, Mehergarh. We'll see about the sites. Okay, so this is the beginning of agriculture. Okay, there is a term that we should know that is called as the Neolithic Revolution. Okay, so Neolithic Revolution. So this is because of the three factors why historians and the archaeologists consider it as a Neolithic Revolution. पहला तो agriculture. So first time agriculture has been practiced. Next, pottery began. पहले handmade pottery बनाते थे. Okay, and then wheel turned pottery. Okay, so initially handmade, then both wheel turned pottery was also made. And finally, all this led to the emergence of sedentary lifestyle. जब hunter gatherers थे, okay, so that time they used to move from place to place, lived in caves. Now sedentary lifestyle in wattle and daub huts, or they also started sun-dried bricks for construction of huts. So a sedentary lifestyle emerged. Okay, that laid the foundations of the next civilizations to come, the Harappan civilization, etc. All right. So this is the reason why archaeologists call this a Neolithic Revolution. These three concepts of emergence of or the beginning of agriculture, the making of pottery, okay, and then the sedentary lifestyle, okay, where they lived in wattle and daub huts or huts made of sun-baked bricks, okay, is called as the Neolithic Revolution. Now, these are the various Neolithic sites. Okay. Burzahom and Gufkral in Jammu Kashmir, very important, known for its pit dwellings, Shogora and Koldiva, Chirand, okay, these are the ones in northeast, Sarutaro, Daujali Hading and Napchik, okay, these are the ones in Karnataka, and Mehergarh in Pakistan is considered to be the oldest Neolithic sites, where one of the earliest evidences of agriculture, earliest evidences of sedentary lifestyle have been found. Okay. So, Mehergarh in Pakistan is considered to be the oldest Neolithic site, okay, and Burzahom and Gufkral were pit dwellings, where people lived much more beneath the ground in pit dwellings because of the cold weather are found. And elsewhere, okay, all the Neolithic. Yeah? Yeah, dog burial, yes, there are various types of practice of burials seen during Mesolithic age and Neolithic age, burial with pets, okay, such as dogs, burial with food grains, burial with pottery, okay, and probably that indicates life after death, okay, they believe in the life after death. So, since organized sedentary lifestyle began, okay, the burial practices, okay, by and large it was in a rectangular pit, okay, on where the body was placed on its back, okay. They also showed sense of direction, where generally the dead bodies were buried on east to west axis, okay. So, east to west axis, head towards east, feet towards west, alright. So, that means they were aware of this sense of direction, okay. So, burial practices also began, and the burial with pets, okay, burial with feet after being cut, they are buried, okay, various beliefs, okay, and especially burial with food grains, which was very common, okay, in pottery with various food grains, etc., showed their belief in life after death. Alright. So, this is about the Stone Age. Let us quickly revise. Okay, we will start with Paleolithic age, which is the corresponding geological age. Sab ek saath zor se. Which is the corresponding geological age in Lower Paleolithic age? Lower Pleistocene. And which is a stone tool technology? Core and subsistence base? Hunting gathering. Geological age in Middle Pleistocene, Middle Paleolithic age? Middle Pleistocene, corresponding stone tool technology? Flake and subsistence base? Upper Paleolithic age? Upper Pleistocene technology? Subsistence base? Mesolithic, which was the age? Holocene technology? Microliths, dimensions of microliths? 1 centimeter to 5 centimeter. Types of microliths? Geometrical and non-geometrical. Okay, and the subsistence base? Domestication of animals and also hunting and gathering. Neolithic age, which is the corresponding geological age? Holocene technology? Polished and ground tools. Then what about the subsistence base? Agriculture, domestication of animals, and then hunting and gathering. Okay, and what about the Neolithic Revolution? Why do you call it a Neolithic Revolution? Three aspects of it: beginning of agriculture, pottery, and then sedentary lifestyle. Important crops: barley, rice, wheat predominant. Okay, barley was the most predominant one. Also millets. Alright, so this is about the Stone Age, and the oldest Neolithic site is Mehergarh. Okay, pit dwellings are found in Burzahom and Gufkral. Alright, so one more thing you have to take down here is, now I told you the pottery began during Neolithic age. Okay, in some sites, okay, in some sites Mesolithic pottery is also found. Now, when historians say that pottery began in Neolithic age, that meant pottery was predominantly used in Neolithic age. Okay, so that meant it may have begun little early also. Okay, so some sites have shown Mesolithic pottery. Okay, take down. Okay, Mesolithic pottery has been found from Chopani Mando, Langanaj, Langaj, Haj, Langanaj. Oh, spelling. Chopani Mando, Chopani, Chopani, Mando, Chopani Mando, Langanaj. Then Kaimur. Okay. Then Lahuderia, also called as Lahurdeva. Okay. So these are the few sites which have yielded Mesolithic pottery. Okay, pottery starts predominantly during Neolithic age. However, Chopani Mando, Langanaj, Kaimur, Lahuderia or Lahurdeva. Okay, these are the few sites where Mesolithic pottery has been found.
So Mesolithic earlier cave paintings, UNESCO World Heritage Sites have been built up. Cave paintings also started in Mesolithic.
It begins from Paleolithic age itself. You must have studied prehistoric rock art. Yeah, you have studied, right? So that is art and culture part, but cave painting started from Paleolithic age itself. Okay, fine arts nahi padha aapne. You must have studied Bhimbetka, Adamgarh. Okay, so these people predominantly stayed in caves. Okay, especially when the seasons and the weather was harsh summers, harsh winters. Okay, and caves में painting बनाओ. Okay, उससे इसका Instagram था वो. अभी Instagram, show their art. Okay, whatever they liked, hobbies. Okay, hunting. Okay, about their group rituals. Okay, fire, various animals they knew. Right. So they express themselves, okay, like we express today on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, okay, on that prehistoric rock art. And today, okay, the site of Bhimbetka caves is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, where among other things such as various Paleolithic and Mesolithic tools, okay, cave paintings have also been found, some fossils have also been found. Also, take down the oldest hominid fossil has been found from Hathnora. Oldest hominid fossil. This is with respect to subcontinent, Indian subcontinent. Okay, the oldest hominid fossil in the Indian subcontinent has been found from Hathnora. ठीक है, हारप्पन सिविलाइजेशन पे चलते हैं. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक. Like agriculture emerged during Neolithic age. So initially the agriculture was subsistence based. Almost everybody who was living in that early areas of Mehadgarh, Zob, Kulli, Nal, okay, So those small communities who were living in that modern day region of Pakistan and Afghanistan border, so it was subsistence. Somebody was supposed to be involved in agriculture or hunting and gathering activities or domestication of agriculture, and whatever was consumed was whatever was produced was consumed. So जो कुछ भी वो लोग उगाते थे या domesticate करते थे या hunting and gathering करके लेते थे, so there was nothing left. Okay, everything was towards consumption. After a while, okay, after few hundred years, some of them discovered this fertile region of Indus Valley. Okay, now Indus Valley, very fertile region, blessed with perennial weathers, favorable monsoon conditions, okay, and fertile soil. So these communities slowly shifted in this fertile region of Indus Valley, okay, and Indus and its tributaries, and they started using various crops such as rice, wheat, barley for cultivation. Then slowly they discovered copper, okay, copper and metal. So copper is a upgrade over stone tools, okay, malleable and ductile, easily can be shaped into various agricultural aspects, okay, like a winnow, like a sieve, okay. So you cannot make a plow out of copper, okay, but wooden plow they used to use, okay, but various agricultural artifacts, arts and crafts, jewelry, etc. Now metal was also discovered and they have moved into this fertile region of Indus and its valley. So because of the geographical factors like perennial rivers, favorable monsoon conditions and the fertile soil, they achieved something that is known as surplus in agriculture. So that meant अगर उनको monthly 100 kgs of food grains were needed to survive, they started producing 150 or 200 kgs. That meant, so whatever they produce in 1 month will last for 2 months. So that is when they became production societies. We are sitting here listening to, you are listening to class I am teaching because we are production societies. We don't have to worry about our food needs because our food needs have been taken care by farmers, okay. Farmers produce food, or we have our various non-veg aspects, okay. So we don't have to go after the class in searching for roots, tubers, hunting, gathering, okay. We don't have to find an animal to kill or go back to cultivation of crops. Our food needs are taken care. We just have to find a good restaurant to eat. I know, right? We just have to find a good restaurant to eat. और आजकल तो स्विगी जोमेटो चल रहा है, you know, यहाँ पे बैठो क्लासरूम में, wherever, जहाँ से भी चाहो दिल्ली से ऑर्डर कर लो. Okay, by the way, let me know all the good restaurants here. So in my next stay here, I want to explore Delhi. Okay, after the class, you can let me give me your suggestions. All right. So we are here because we are production societies. We don't have to worry about our food needs. Okay, the same thing happened with them. Okay, they discovered this surplus and became production societies. A production society is one where 50% of their food needs, okay, are taken care by agriculture. 50%. मतलब let's say we are here in this classroom. अगर हमारा monthly consumption is let's say 100 kg of rice, and assuming that we eat only rice and nothing else, okay, if that 50% of that, 50 kgs of rice is being produced by us, okay, that meant that we are production societies. Remaining 50% by domesticating animals, by hunting, gathering, okay, so that will be the rest of the 50%. So after becoming production societies, especially due to the agricultural surplus, a section of the population, okay, which was earlier had to be dedicated to agriculture, got relieved from the responsibilities of agriculture because there is surplus. So you don't need so many people working in agriculture or going towards hunting, gathering or domesticating animals. So this section of population could take a step up and focus towards arts and crafts, okay. So various crafts, especially with discovery of metal, okay, stone crafts, metal crafts, okay, crafts with respect to wool or cotton that was produced during Harappa, okay, textiles, etc. emerged. Now अगर अभी हमने आर्ट्स एंड क्राफ्ट्स बनाया है, अभी बीड्स बनाया है, एक अच्छा सा नेकलेस बनाया है, सो बेचना पड़ेगा, you want to earn something. So because there was arts and craft and also there was surplus of crops, you need to sell that. Trade and commerce got an impetus. Initially यहीं पे पास में localized trade or inland trade or internal trade था. Slowly they discovered that there are other civilizations, contemporary Egyptian civilization है, Mesopotamian civilization है. Okay, so they started external trade. So after the external trade, okay, धीरे धीरे they saw that उनका prosperity बढ़ता गया, they started becoming rich, trade was very profitable. Slowly over a period of 1,000 years, urbanization emerged. Okay, so the Harappan civilization entered into its urban phase with flourishing urban cities like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Kalibangan, Lothal, Dholavira, right? So it started with small agricultural communities in the northwestern part. Okay, those communities which were subsistence based, okay, over a period of time they got agricultural surplus and became production societies. That meant that a section of population was relieved from the compulsion of agriculture and domestication of animals. This section of population focused on arts and crafts. The progress in arts and crafts gave impetus to trade and commerce. Okay, and trade and commerce brought, especially the external trade, brought in the fruits of urbanization, leading to the emergence of urban civilization. So this is how Harappan civilization slowly and gradually emerged in India over a period of 1,500 years. Okay, leading to the emergence of first civilization in the Indian subcontinent. Okay, so this is the story behind the emergence and the flourishing of Harappan civilization, whose various aspects we'll study now. Okay, so this is how the civilization emerged. So Harappan civilization was larger than its contemporary civilization, that is Mesopotamian civilization, also called as Sumerian civilization, and Egyptian civilization. So काफ़ी large था Harappan civilization, so very much extensive and bigger than the Mesopotamian civilization or the Sumerian civilization, okay, or the Egyptian civilization. So इसका extent देते हैं, कहाँ से कहाँ तक था? Anybody knows the westernmost Harappan site? Westernmost? Yes, very good. सब पढ़ के आए, very good. Shows that you are on right track to prelims. Easternmost? Yes. This is there on border of Pakistan and Iran. Okay, so this is there in modern day Uttar Pradesh. मेरा डिस्ट्रिक्ट में है क्या? आई एम नॉट श्योर. ओके, to the best of my knowledge it's in UP. I don't know which district. Okay, northernmost? Manda. Also known as, modern name इसका है अखनूर. And southernmost? Daimabad in Maharashtra. This is there in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. This is in UP, this is in Pakistan. So this was a quite extensive civilization, okay, covering from modern day Pakistan region to modern day Uttar Pradesh, modern day Jammu Kashmir to modern day Maharashtra. Okay, so this made it a very extensive civilization. So इसके क्या क्या फीचर्स थे, जल्दी जल्दी बता दो. So various features we'll see of this great civilization. So this civilization belonged to Bronze Age. Okay, so this civilization belonged to Bronze Age. Then this civilization belonged to proto-historic civilization. What do you understand by proto history?
For which there is written record, but we haven't deciphered it yet.
Yes, very good. So history is classified into prehistory, proto-history and history. Okay. Prehistory matlab when there is total absence of literary records or written records. There is no script, okay, and there is no records of script, like Stone Age. Stone Age belongs to prehistory, the Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. Proto-history is when there is written records, okay, but the script is yet to be deciphered. Like Harappans, they had their own script, they had their own sign language, pictographic script, okay, but the script is yet to be deciphered, okay, and this makes the Harappan civilization as proto-historic civilization. Historic civilization is when there is script, okay, and it has been deciphered, we know the language, we know the script, okay. So from Vedic age onwards we have the historic civilization. So this is about the nature, the proto-historic nature. So it was a literate civilization, okay. So script yet to be deciphered, script is pictographic in nature, some animals, some symbols, some letters are used, pictographic script. Generally written from right to left, okay, generally written from right to left, but however there are instances where the opposite, okay, from left to right also it has been written, okay, generally written from right to left, however there are other aspects where left to right also has been written. Next feature, it was a planned civilization, planned and urban, okay, planned and an urban civilization, various urban centers like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Kalibangan, Dholavira, Lothal, these are all the urban centers. One, yes sir? Modern, what's modern about this? Beads, burnt bricks, okay. So using of burnt bricks is modern. It was modern with comparatively the ancient age, okay. So with say planned and urban civilization because of the presence of urban centers. So why can we call it a urban civilization? What are the features that make it urban? Town planning, yes. You are saying something, sir? Drainage system, okay, that comes under town planning only. हाँ, यहाँ से कुछ आवाजें आई? Trade and commerce, yes. Presence of a central authority. See, there are various aspects, okay, which make a site or a civilization urban, okay. There should be certain political aspects, economic aspects and societal aspects. When with respect to political aspects, okay, there should be some sort of central authority, okay, there should be some sort of central authority. And the Harappans are said to be ruled by a group of families or priestly class. Since there is no script, okay, we cannot tell whether it was priestly class or oligarchs, we cannot say for sure, but it is said that they used to reside in the citadel part of the Harappan civilization, okay. So this is the presence of central authority. And one more aspect of saying that these Harappans had central authority is that throughout civilization uniform weights and measures have been used, okay. So the uniform weights and measures, so the unit number 1 in Harappa was same in Mohenjo-daro, the same was in Lothal, okay. Despite the geographic distances indicate that there was some sort of central authority that was determining these units of measurement. Now 1 rupee in Delhi is same as 1 rupee in Bangalore, okay, same value. There may be inscriptions or the inscribing inside the coin may be different, okay, but the value remains same, okay. The weight of the coins may change over a period of time, but the 2010 1 rupee will all have the same weight, same amount of purity, right. So this indicates that we have a central authority, it is printed by a central authority, okay. The same thing with respect to the uniform weights and measures and the presence of structures like citadel. With respect to economic, okay, the flourishing trade and commerce. So the flourishing trade and commerce indicates the urban centers, and finally with respect to society, the presence of urban centers and script is again another aspect of urbanization. Presence of urban centers like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Lothal, Kalibangan, etc. Now, the next feature is it is a riverine civilization. So, important Harappan sites like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Lothal, these are all located on the banks of rivers. Okay. So, this makes the Harappan civilization a riverine civilization. Oh, I forgot about the planned. Okay. So, what about the planning? You must have studied in art and culture. Quickly tell me. Yes? Grid system of streets, okay, or perpendicular streets, or a presence of well set drainage system, okay, where all the drains are connected to a underground setup, presence of wells at regular intervals. Then what else? Presence, yes, the presence of citadel in the city, okay, citadel on the west, lower town on the east, okay. Almost all Harappan cities have a citadel where the house the ruling family, okay, your great bath, great granary and all were found in the citadel part, and on the east was the lower town or the house of the commoners. Almost all the houses in the lower town show uniformity in construction or uniformity in sizes, okay. Each street or almost at regular intervals wells were placed for drinking water, okay, and have shown remarkable drainage system for the wastewater to flow, okay. So this is about the planned aspect, okay. It was a riverine civilization, that meant important sites were located on the banks of river. However, with respect to the urban aspects and to the aspect of riverine civilization, not all sites are located on the banks of river or urban, okay. Actually, majority of the sites are not located on the banks of rivers, and majority of the sites do not show urban features. It is those selected few sites, okay. There are about 1500 sites, okay, out of which only 1000 have been excavated, okay. Some sites are still yet to be excavated because modern day towns and cities have been constructed over it. So among the excavated sites, urban sites are handful and riverine sites are handful, okay. It was these important sites which were located on the banks of the river. So because still since all the earliest sites that were discovered, okay, or all the prominent sites that were discovered were located on the banks of the river, okay, this civilization is known as a riverine civilization. Then cosmopolitan. Why am I calling it cosmopolitan? What is so cosmopolitan about Harappa? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. I called it planned. Why am I calling cosmopolitan? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, pata nahi ye log whether they were universal family or no. Cosmopolitan.
Because they used to wear beads, ornaments, and
Yes, yes. So all the aspects like beads, ornaments, lipstick, You must be surprised, lipstick is not a modern day invention. Okay, the evidence of lipstick has been found from Chanudaro. Okay, it's a site where ancient Indian lipstick, okay, vanity purse, right? So all those cosmopolitan features with respect to beads, ornaments, garments unfortunately have not survived the test of the time, so we cannot be sure about the nature of the garments, but they were aware of cotton, they had wool, okay, so that aspect was there. Since they are organic in nature, they did not survive. However, the beads, ornaments, and the evidence of lipstick that has been found from Chanudaro makes it a very cosmopolitan civilization. So this fashion sense of Indians is not new, right? It's been existing since ancient times. Any doubts so far about the important features of Harappan civilization? So this remarkable town planning, the presence of urban centers, the uniform standards and weights, and the archaeological evidences like citadel, etc., indicate that there was some sort of central authority which account for the uniformity displayed by the Harappan civilization. ठीक है, so agriculture देखते हैं, ठीक है, important crops same, rice, wheat, barley, millets, cotton was an important. Animal husbandry, मतलब domestication of animals, fishing, hunting and gathering also continued. Okay. The important aspects about the Harappan economy is its non-agrarian economy. So, quickly tell me which are the important crafts of Harappans. One by one we will take down. बता दो क्या crafts थे इनके? Yes, very good. Pottery, terracotta art, वो तो material है terracotta art. Seal making, good. Metallurgy, metallurgy मतलब यहाँ पे metals कौन से मालूम थे इनको? First copper, then tin, copper और tin को मिला के bronze, then gold भी पता था उनको, silver, so iron बिल्कुल नहीं. Okay, so bronze, copper, tin, bronze, gold, silver. So decisively iron was not known. Iron will come only during the end of early Vedic age and beginning of later Vedic age, where the iron age begins in India. So they were predominantly using copper, tin, bronze, okay, to an extent gold and silver in their precious metal. So metallurgy, फिर bead making, very good. Boat making, ठीक है. Boats और बताओ. Yes ma'am. Sculpture, metallurgical sculpture में आ जाता है. So something related to sculptures again. So stone cutting. Okay, stone cutting. Seal making, यहाँ पे स्टेटाइट से बनाते थे seals. We'll see about seals in a bit. So these are the important crafts of the Harappan civilization, okay, where they used to manufacture various things, okay, metallurgy, okay, the use of lost wax technique, okay, to make various bronze and copper sculptures, okay, stone cutting to various arts, pottery important, terracotta, various arts, bead making, okay, in bead making all the jewelries, okay, important jewels, this thing were used, okay, where the necklaces etc. were made using beads and other precious metals. One more we have forgotten, shell works. Shell works. So metals we saw, those are the important metals that were used, okay. Trade. Trade was based on barter system. You understand barter system, right? You give me 10 kg of barley, I'll give you 1 kg of wheat, or I'll give you 10 beads for that, okay. So trade was based on barter system, okay. So initially internal trade, initially it was internal trade, that meant trade from Harappa to Mohenjo-daro, Mohenjo-daro to Dholavira, Dholavira to Lothal, so on and so forth, okay. Later on external trade with Mesopotamian civilization. Okay, external trade with Mesopotamian civilization. I am making a claim here that there is an external trade with respect to the Mesopotamian civilization, okay, and Mesopotamia is corresponding to modern day Iran, Iraq region, okay, and Mesopotamia or the Sumerian civilization. So how can I substantiate that there was definite trade links with respect to Mesopotamian civilization? First is, as you said, seals, okay, Harappan seals, okay, which are quadrilateral or rectangular in nature, are found in this modern day Iran, Iraq region, whereas the Mesopotamian seals, which are circular in nature or button shaped in nature, are found in various Harappan sites like Mohenjo-daro, Lothal, Kalibangan. So this presence of Harappan seals in Mesopotamia and vice versa indicates the archaeological evidence with respect to the trade between the Mesopotamia and Harappa or Indus Valley. Now, though the Harappan script has not been deciphered, okay, we have literary evidence in the Mesopotamian civilization which indicate trade. In that literary evidence, okay, the king who was ruling over Mesopotamia mentions the term traders from Meluha. Okay, the traders from Meluha used to come and visit his kingdom, and this Meluha is corresponding to Indus Valley civilization. Corresponding to Indus Valley civilization. So there are both seals which provides the archaeological evidence as well as the literary evidence that is provided by one of the Mesopotamian kings who talks about Meluha, which corresponds to the Indus Valley civilization of that age. Now next is with respect to seals. Okay, seals were used to mark ownership of goods. Predominantly they were made up of steatite. Seals had animals like rhino, tiger, unicorn, and also some script. And on a wet clay, this seal was stamped, marking the ownership or the authenticity that it has come from this trader. Okay, and the primary purpose the seal served was to mark the ownership of goods. All right, so this is the purpose of seals. Next is with respect to the weights and measures. Okay, as I have told you, uniform weights and measures were used. The weights are in doubling. Okay, so 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. Okay, doubling, and after 16 they are in the decimals of 16. So unit 1, unit 2, it's not kgs, okay, it's Harappan unit 1, Harappan unit 2. So number 2 will be exactly double of 1, okay, and number 4 will be double of 2. So they are obtained in a doubling format, okay, 1, 2, 4 up till 16, and after 16 they are in the decimals of 16, 32, 64, so on. Okay, so uniform weights and measures, and as I told you, the trade was by and large, okay, based on the barter system. Okay, there was no coinage, okay, and it was based on barter system. This is about the economy of the Harappan civilization. Any doubts with so far what we have studied? थोड़ा सोसाइटी रिलीजन देख लेते हैं हरप्पन्स का, ओके, बिफोर वी मूव ऑन टू इम्पोर्टेंट साइट्स. ओके, सो this is about the religion. So mother goddess is considered to be the primary female deity, okay, and her image made up of red sandstone is found from all the important Harappan sites. So mother goddess associated with fertility, associated with prosperity, okay. Her image made up of red sandstone is found from prominent Harappan sites. Pashupati Mahadeva is found on a seal associated with Proto Shiva, okay, who has shown various Shiva like features, okay. He is sitting in a yogic posture on a throne. He has 3 faces and horns, and he is surrounded with various animals. Anybody knows the animals? Buffalo, elephant, tiger, and rhinoceros. And at the bottom of his throne, 2 deers are also there. So totally 5 types of animals. Okay, buffalo, elephant, tiger, and rhino. Yeah.
In Pashupati seal there is 1 face and 3 horns.
I think it's 3 faces.
Then I just Googled it.
I'll get back to you on that. Okay. So buffalo, elephant, tiger, and rhino. Okay. And there are 2 deers at the bottom of the throne. Okay. He's sitting in a yogic position, and he is associated with the Proto Shiva, or a person who was having Shiva-like features. Alright. So this is about the Pashupati Mahadeva, or the Proto Shiva, okay, who was found on a seal. And the worship of nature, okay, nature such as peepal tree, pigeon, etc., was also followed by the people of the Harappan civilization. The worship of nature, that is peepal tree, pigeon, etc. There is also evidences of a sacrificial cult, okay, as fire altars have been found at Kalibangan and Lothal. Okay, fire altars have been found at Kalibangan and Lothal. fire altars have been found at Kalibangan. Sacrificial cult as in they used to practice various sacrifices. Okay, we don't have exact details of what the sacrifices might have been. Okay, but these fire altars indicate some nature of rituals as attributed to sacrifices. Okay, evidence of phallus worship or linga worship is also found. Okay, so the people of Indus Valley also worshipped the phallus or the linga. Then use of amulets, right? Amulets to ward off evil spirits and diseases. Amulets means tavis, right? So what we wear around our neck or hands or shoulders for various reasons, for health, for prosperity, to protect us from evil spirits. Dushmanon ka saya, dushmanon ki nazar. So all those things, success in various exams, wars and battles. So this they also believed in that. Okay, and they also had tied amulets around their necks and shoulders. Okay, so this is about the religion of the Harappan civilization. Yeah?
Horse is indigenous? Horse.
No, they were not aware of horse. Okay, so they were not aware of horse. So for the horse and iron to come, we have to wait for the Vedic Aryans. Okay, so they get. We'll see about horse where it only one site it has been found. Okay, at Surkotada, but the question is also asked. We'll see when we come to Surkotada. Okay, but first we'll finish the various burial practices of the Harappans, and then we'll go to individual sites, important items, artifacts of and the features of the individual sites. Burial was restricted to three major forms. Okay, the three major forms were the complete burial, fractional burial, and post cremation burial. Complete burial as in normal burial in a rectangular pit, body kept on the back. Okay, and generally on east and east to west direction or north to south direction. So this was the complete burial. Okay, so body kept in a rectangular pit lying on its back. Okay, generally in a east to west or a north to south direction. Fractional burial is when the body was left for scavenging animals like vultures, wild animals. Okay, and after they eat and they are done, okay, the remains were buried. Okay, and this was fractional burial. जो कोई भी पाप किया हो जिंदगी में उसको डायरेक्ट कंप्लीट नहीं फ्रैक्शनल करते हैं. Okay, so this was fractional burial. Post cremation burial is nothing when the body was first cremated and whatever the remains were there were put, the ashes and the remains were put in a pot and the pot was buried. So the most important form was complete burial. Okay, however fractional and post cremation burial was also predominant. Now other unique type of burials have been found at individual sites. Okay, cyst or brick chamber burial has been found from Kalibangan. Okay, cyst or brick chamber burial, what I call it as अनारकली type burial. मुगल आजम देखी होगी आपने, जैसे उसको दीवार के पीछे रख दिया जाता है. So behind a brick chamber, okay, the body was kept. एक ही ने देखी है, मतलब पुरानी मूवी है, but it's a classic. Like you have good, not bad. 3 people have seen. Magnum opus, one of the magnum opus of India. Right. So pot burial, so where the body's remains were put in a box, has predominantly found from Surkotada. Okay, various evidence of pot burial is found from Surkotada. coffin burial, wooden coffin में has been found from Harappa. Okay, the evidence of coffin burial is found from Harappa. And double burial, like couple burial, double burial has been found from Lothal. Zindagi ke saath bhi, zindagi ke baad bhi, right? So both boyfriend, girlfriend or husband, wife. We never know what their relation was, but a male and a female has been buried together. Don't know if she was alive at the time of the husband's death, or we cannot be certain, but the couple burial has been found, or the double burial from Lothal. But the predominant form which was throughout the Harappan sites is complete burial, along with evidence of fraction and post cremation. This is an individual cyst or brick chamber, spot, coffin, and a double burial. Also take down a megalithic type burial. Anybody knows where it is? Yes, the megalithic age was predominant in South India, which was marked by presence of large stones and boulders or coverage with various stone circles. Okay, but in Harappan sites, a form of megalithic, don't write exactly megalithic, a type or form of megalithic type burial was found from Dholavira, where bodies was buried in a cane circle or a stone circle. Okay, so a type of megalithic burial, but we cannot classify this as megalithic age or a prominent megalith. Yes. See, there are again, like it depends from place to place. Since there are multiple gods, okay, there may have been a diverse of religious beliefs, right? So, like how I assumed, like fractional burial, generally those people who may have committed sins, okay, for washing away their sins, they were put to wild animals first, and for their atma to obtain shanti. So then first wild animals will feed, and then they will be put, okay. But since there is no script, we cannot say for sure. I'll think of it in one way, she will think of it in another way, he will think of it in another way. So it's all subject to interpretation, okay, and that will never be asked in exam, and that we shouldn't worry about. But these are the three common forms, and these are 3 to 4 where specific nature or only these places these kind of features have been seen. Like fire altars are seen from Kalibangan and Lothal, okay. Other places fire altars are not seen. So we say that Lothal and Kalibangan, predominance of sacrificial cult or sacrificial religion, or sacrificial cult or sacrificial religion was predominant. Now mother goddess is found among all the important Harappan sites, so worshipper of mother goddess. The Pashupati seal, wherever it is found, okay, so Pashupati Mahadeva was worshipped. The various aspects of nature worship, people tree, pigeons, where and all on the potteries, etc. they were drawn, okay, we can say that they used to worship nature. Amulets have been found throughout, so we can attribute modern day knowledge. Why do we use amulets? To ward off evil spirits, for success, for prosperity, okay, so based or to improve health, right? So whenever we are sick, we try to tie that, and by spiritually we try to improve health. So it's just conjecture and analogy. Using modern day tribal studies, modern day anthropological studies, we try to draw what could have been possible in the previous civilizations, right? So this is about the burial practices of the Indus Valley people. Okay, now we will move on to important Indus Valley sites. Okay, we'll just have a look since it's been given to you after the class. Okay, you can go home and have a look at it again. Okay, the important artifacts, important things that are found in the important Harappan sites. So first is Harappa, okay, the first site to be discovered by Sir Dayanram Sahni, okay, in 1921 on the banks of Harappa, when some railway activity was going on, okay, they found that bricks were coming from beneath the ground, okay, people thought it is magic, okay, but then Archaeological Survey of India, okay, understood that there is an ancient city located underneath it. Excavations were undertook, okay, and what came out was surprised the early colonial archaeologists and historians, where an extensive site of Harappa was discovered, and the first site to be discovered. Shortly a year later, okay, R.D. Banerjee discovered Mohenjo-daro, okay, and these first two sites, okay, laid the foundations for the discovery of an elaborate and lost ancient civilization. Okay, and this Harappa was located on banks of river Ravi. Okay, 2 rows of 6 granaries are found here. 2 rows of 6 granaries. Make a note, it's 2 rows of 6 granaries, because when you come to Mohenjo-daro, we'll study the great granary there. Okay, so do not confuse between the great granary and 2 rows of 6 granary. Okay, and red sandstone torso of a nude male. Okay, a statue of a nude male. Face is not there, below part is not there, only the torso part is there. Okay, of a nude male has been found from the Harappa, and it is made up of red sandstone. And coffin burial, like we saw, okay, wooden coffin with a red shroud, okay, is also found from the Harappa. Okay, this is the site of Harappa, the first site to be discovered. The next is Mohenjo-daro, okay, located on the banks of river Indus. Now we are seeing like important sites are located on the banks of rivers, hence the term riverine civilization is attributed to that. Okay, the great granary, okay, so it's the largest building in the Mohenjo-daro. Okay, and the Pashupati seal we saw, right? So Pashupati seal of Proto Shiva, and the bronze image of a dancing girl. You must have already met her in your art and culture class. You met her, right? Okay, you must have seen formed by the lost wax technique or Cire Perdue technique. Okay, so the bronze image of the dancing girl, okay, made up of lost wax technique or Cire Perdue technique, and statite image of a bearded man or a bearded priest. Okay, you must have met this guy also. Okay, having trefoiled pattern shawl. Okay, having an amulet tied to his head. Okay, having a short stubble or a beard. Okay, and was also found from Mohenjo-daro. And the Great Bath, I think you have already studied about this in art and culture as well. So Great Bath, one of the important buildings of the Harappan sites, okay, was found from Mohenjo-daro, where burnt bricks were used. Okay, bitumen was used to plug leakage, limestone was used for plastering. Okay, a modern marvel, okay, which was constructed during the Indus Valley civilization. And see, all this Great Bath, the granaries, okay, and various aspects of assembly halls, etc., are found from the citadel aspects. Okay, this Great Bath, the granaries, and all are located inside the citadel. Okay, citadel usually on the west of the Harappan towns. Okay, and the lower town, okay, where the commoners supposedly stayed, was on the east. Citadel on the west said to have housed the ruling or the priestly class, whereas on the east was the lower town where the people used to, normal people or laborers used to stay. Next important site, Kalibangan, we saw, right, fire altars, which indicated a sacrificial cult. Okay, and historians have found a fault here. Okay, and this fault shows the oldest archaeological evidence of an earthquake in the Indian subcontinent. Okay, though it is not conclusive. Okay, there are debates among geologists, but historians have said, okay, Kalibangan, oldest archaeological evidence of earthquake. So this was attributed to Kalibangan. So again, in Kalibangan, the evidence of earliest plowed field, okay, so the beginning of earliest plowed field is found from Kalibangan, and because it was a site dominated by fire altars and sacrificial cults, okay, the mother goddess, the primary deity of the Harappan civilization, the figurines of the mother goddess are not found in Kalibangan. So the conspicuous absence of mother goddess in Kalibangan, okay, where it shows predominance of fire altars or the sacrificial cult. Next site is Lothal. Okay, so Lothal is an artificial dockyard, okay, artificial dockyard or a artificial port for coastal trade. Now, artificial dockyard was constructed by people of Harappa. Okay, so people of Harappa had constructed this artificial dockyard. we also saw in art and craft that you told me that port making was one of the important craft. Fair enough. But how did they move in and out of this artificial dockyard?
So there canals, the gates would open, the water would flood in.
This is, we are talking about 2700 BC, like almost 5000 years, like tidal setup. Okay, these are tidal ports. Okay, using high tide they used to come in, using low tide they used to travel out. Okay, so there are important ports like Suktagandor, Bhakra, Balakot, these are important ports, but Lothal is the only place where artificial dockyard, okay, artificial man-made dockyard has been found. Okay, rest all were natural ports. Okay, at Lothal, okay, for parking of the ships or parking of the boats. Okay, so this artificial dockyard was constructed, and we saw rice was an important crop, but the evidence of rice cultivation has been found at two places, that is Lothal and Rangpur only. Okay, and bead maker shop. So Lothal was a very important port city as well as a trading center. So the bead maker shop or important bead making site, okay, where important beads made up of various aspects like carnelian, agate, jasper, etc. have been found from Lothal. And fire altar, as we saw, is also found from Lothal along with Kalibangan. And for the recreation, a game similar to modern day chess, not exactly modern day chess, okay, games similar to modern day chess, okay, was also found from Lothal, having various pawns, a board, okay, which is similar to modern day chess. And important other coastal towns are Lothal. Important major ports are Lothal, Suktagandor, Bhagatrao, okay, and Balakot. So this is about Lothal. Next, Chanudaro, it's a bead making factory again along with Lothal, known for its shell works. Okay, and Chanudaro is the only Indus site without a citadel. We saw almost all important Indus cities are divided into citadel and the lower town, and Chanudaro was the only Indus site without a citadel. And a small ink pot or ink pot like object has also been found. Next is Dholavira. Okay, along with the citadel and the lower town, a middle town is seen in Dholavira. Okay, so in between citadel and lower town, where there generally is a gap, okay, middle town, okay, which has indicated the growth of a later developments in urban life. Okay, a middle town was found here. A 10 alphabet signboard, okay, we don't know what it indicates, but a 10 alphabet signboards containing a message which is yet to be deciphered has been found from Dholavira. We saw the megalith type burial, okay, in Cane Circle is found from Dholavira, and this Dholavira is known for its water reservoirs, okay, dams, embankments, check dams, rainwater harvesting, okay, and it's very much known. See, rainwater harvesting and other structures are also there in other sites, but Dholavira is known for these features: dams, check dams, embankments, okay, rainwater harvesting structures, okay, and these water reservoirs are one of the defining features of the Dholavira. And a question was asked in last year's prelims in 2021, right, about dams of Harappan town. Okay, this was Dholavira. Okay, it was a very straightforward and a very simple question with respect to the various things that are found in this thing. And Dholavira was recently declared in 2020 as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, so Dholavira was declared as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, and Lothal has also been applied by the government of India. Its application is pending. Okay, so Lothal, the government has forwarded, okay, for to be declared, but application is pending. However, Dholavira was recognized as UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2020, okay, which is known for its middle town, a 10 alphabets signboard, okay, a megalithic type burial, and its water reservoir techniques like dams, embankments, okay, check dams, okay, and rainwater harvesting structures. Next is Surkotada, okay, and there is evidence of bones of a horse from this place. So the bones of a horse have been found only at Surkotada. So in 2017 they had asked the question, like, the Harappans were aware of horse. It is a multiple statement question, but I am just talking about this. So Harappans were aware of horse. So true or false? Were they aware? Were they not aware? False, true, false. If why? If it's false, why? If it's true, why? Good. See, this is the exception, okay, and take it like a rule of thumb that when there is exception, unless that exception is mentioned, do not generalize that statement. If they say Harappans were aware of horse, we should see the predominant aspect, okay. So predominantly they were not aware. The evidence of horse has been found only from Surkotada. So that is an exception. Now if I tell you that Mesolithic people manufactured pottery, what will be your answer be? True or false? False, right? If I tell you Mesolithic pottery has been found only at Lagnaj and Kaimur and Chopani Mando, what will your statement be? True, right? Because I am giving you the exception. Okay, just because we have found pottery at these 4 sites, Lagnaj, Kaimur, Chopani Mando and Lahore, okay, doesn't mean that predominantly it was present during the Mesolithic age. So whenever there are exceptions, unless the exception is mentioned in the statement becomes wrong. Okay, so in ancient and medieval, do not generalize the exceptions. Okay, so UPSC is known to play with this. Okay, now about gunpowder, when we come to medieval India, we will see about gunpowder. Okay, people get confused. Oh, it was used. Okay, but for what purpose you need to see, right? Now, when they say Harappans were aware of this animal, that means at least 5 to 10 sites should have shown the evidence of horse. Okay, it is only at Surkotada we found. Okay, if they had mentioned that the evidences of horse has been found at Surkotada, then the statement would be right. Okay, but if they talk about in general terms, if they just generalize the statement, then the statement would be wrong. Alright, so next is Daimabad, the southernmost site, okay, known for its large number of bronze items. Okay, if you want to see this, you can go to National Museum, Delhi. Okay, the bronze chariot, rhino, elephant, bull, so known for its bronze items. See, most of the Harappan towns have yielded, towns and cities have yielded a large number of bronze and copper items. So among them, the Daimabad bronze items are very prominent. Okay, the bronze chariot, rhino, elephant, bull, etc. Okay, so this is located in your National Museum. If you have time after prelims and if you have nothing else to do, then you can go and spend your time studying our ancient history or looking at the aspects of ancient history, which not many of you prefer. Alright. This is about Daimabad. Now let us look at the most important Harappan sites. Okay, in India we have studied so many: Kalibangan, Birhana, okay, Akigarhi, Dholavira, Surkotada. Alright, these are the important sites. In Pakistan, Mehergarh, Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Amri, Kodiji, Chanudaro, and Afghanistan, Mundigak and Chartugai, which were more like a trading posts of Harappan age. Okay, so Mundigak and Chartugai were the important trading post of the Harappan age. So this uses a question. So which was the oldest Harappan site? Oldest Harappan site? Mehergarh. We saw that in Neolithic age the oldest Harappan site was Mehergarh. So logically, going by that logic, oldest Harappan site should be Mehergarh. But logic, I have told you, seldom applies to ancient and medieval history. Okay, so there was various conflicts between historians, okay, who put forward various views with respect to oldest Harappan site, largest Harappan site. Okay, luckily for us, few years back, Archaeological Survey of India classified according to it what it thinks is the oldest and largest, and that is what matters for us. Okay, if they ask, they will ask as per ASI. So according to ASI, Okay, where is this? Birhana in Haryana is considered to be the oldest Harappan site and not Mehergarh. Okay, because they take, when it started displaying the Harappan features, okay, what they consider to be the various Harappan features, not the Neolithic features. So Birhana is considered to be the oldest Harappan site as per ASI. Okay, in various books, because ancient history has lot of conflicting stories, conflicting evidences and conflicting features. So facts, especially dates, a little bit of facts will vary from book to book, from your Tamil Nadu to your NCRT, from your old NCRT to new NCRT. So that is there, okay, but this is as per ASI. And Rakhighari is considered to be the largest as per ASI. So both in Haryana. Earlier they were thinking it was Mohenjo-daro. Sometime it was shifted to Dholavira. Then okay, ASI itself. As far as I know, it is Rakhighari, because they are even including the part which is still unexcavated. Okay, so they are even including the part that is still yet to be excavated. So based on that, they are saying it is Rakhighari. When was it? Is it a recent circular or something? Okay, so mine is per 17 and 18. So let me check again. But to the best of my knowledge, it is Rakhighari. Okay, they are done so by including the unexcavated part as well. But since it is conflicting, the chances of question being asked is very less. Okay, so this is about the important Harappan sites. Okay, and yeah. Desalpur is a important Harappan site, okay, which is located in modern day Gujarat, okay, which emerged in the later Harappan period. Okay, so Harappan period can be classified into three types. Okay, pre-Harappan, mature Harappan, and late Harappan. So pre-Harappan was from about 3500 to 2700 BCE. It was these Mehergarh, okay, Mundigak, Shartugai, okay, and Nal, Zob, okay, Balakot. These were the initial sites where the agricultural surplus was just obtained. Okay, this was the early Harappan sites. After moving into the Indus Valley region, what we saw, production societies, agriculture surplus, then we got the trade and arts and crafts, trade and commerce, and urbanization. The urban phase corresponds to mature Harappan phase, which lasted from 2700 BC to about 1900 BC onwards. After 1900 BC, the urban character of the Harappan civilization slowly started reducing, okay, and late Harappan phase emerged, which lasted from 1900 BC till 1600 or some down south up till 1300 BC. So Desalpur was one of the late Harappan sites which is located in modern day Gujarat. Okay, so these are the important Harappan sites. All right, so we'll take a quick timeout and we'll reassemble and we'll start with the Vedic age. All right. So after about 1200 years, the mature phase of Harappan civilization came to an end, and in the late phase, the Harappan civilization started declining. Okay, when we say decline of Harappan civilization, it does not mean total destruction or annihilation of the civilization. It meant that the urban phase, the urban characteristics which we have seen, okay, came to an end, and many people abandoned the cities for various reasons, such as recurrent floods, increase in aridity, earthquakes, okay, and because of lack of agricultural surplus, which was the backbone for the emergence of an urban civilization. Okay, the people abandoned this and moved down south. Okay, started moving down south, and this vacant geography was occupied by the Vedic Aryans. Okay, the primary aspect of the Vedic corpus is the Vedic literature. Okay, Vedic literature is quite comprehensive. There are Vedangas, Upavedas, there is epics, there is Bhagavad Gita. But with respect to Vedic age, okay, what we are seeing here, Vedic age, okay, the Vedic literature can be classified into Samhitas, that is the 4 Veda, that is the Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda. Okay, then we have Brahmanas, okay, Aranyakas, and the Upanishads. So Rig Vedic age or Rig Veda belongs to early Vedic age from 1500 to 1000 BC, and the remaining 3 Vedas belong to the later Vedic period. It is composed of various hymns. Okay, the traces of music or the origins of music can be traced to Samaveda. Yajurveda primarily deals with rituals and sacrifices. And Atharveda deals with magic and mysticism. Brahmanas are the commentary on the Vedas, and they are theological texts or purely theological texts. What do you understand by theology? Religious. Okay, so Brahmanas are the commentary on the Vedas. Like each Veda will have a commentary. That means a more explained and elaborate nature of the Veda. Now Vedas are hymns. Okay, now what does that hymn mean? What is its purpose? Okay, if at all, if it is dealing with a sacrifice, how it should be performed. So the elaborate aspect of the Vedas, where everything is explained in detail, is Brahmanas. Okay, these are purely theological texts. Aranyakas are the forest books. These are partly theological and partly philosophical. These are partly theological and partly philosophical. Upanishads, which literally means to be seated at the feet of the Guru. These are purely philosophical texts. So Upanishads, which literally means to be seated at the feet of the Guru, these are purely philosophical texts. So this is the part of the Vedic literature from where the information about the early Vedic age and later Vedic age polity, economy, society and religion is obtained. Now we will see the political features, okay, of the Vedic age. So to save time, we will do a comparative analysis between early Vedic age and a later Vedic age. So we will see in a comparative aspects early Vedic age from 1500 to 1000 BCE and later Vedic age from 1000 to 600 BCE. So the nature of polity in early Vedic age was tribal nomadic. That meant the early Vedic Aryans moved from place to place as tribal nomads. Okay, they did not stay at a place for a long period of time. In the later Vedic age, this changed to territorial based polity. Okay, early Vedic age, the polity was tribal nomadic polity. In later Vedic age, this changed to territorial based polity. Now, since it's a tribal nomadic polity, king is there, but his powers are less. King is there, but his powers are less. In later Vedic age, more powerful. See, since it's a tribal based polity, so they move from place to place. Okay, let's say they are in Delhi, okay, and for about 6 months they stay here, one crop cycle, primitive agriculture they practice. Okay, they will have some wars and battles with neighboring tribes. Okay, and when they feel that the conditions are not sustaining here anymore, they'll move to some other place. Okay, they'll go to Bengaluru, okay, or to Gujarat, so wherever they feel like. So since it's a tribal based polity, the functions the king had to do, the major function a king had to perform was to lead the tribe in wars and battles. Okay, and since there was no concept of land, the disputes were few. Okay, the polity was not evolved. The powers of king, the administrative structures, nothing was evolved. Okay, the major function of the king was to lead the tribe in wars and battles. Alright, so the powers were less. Now in later Vedic age, when a territorial based polity emerged, so that meant the tribe which was there in Delhi, okay, was there perpetually. Okay, so that meant more number of disputes. Okay, more features to administer. Okay, the justice, the execution. Okay, the aspects of settling various disputes between the members of the tribe. Okay, there is marriages, there is inheritance, and most importantly, again, there will be wars and battles with the other tribes, or to safeguard the frontiers of that tribe. So that's why the powers of the king enlarged. Okay, because they started living there for a larger period of time. Okay, that there was necessity that the king had to be powerful to in order to govern his people. All right, so the king became more powerful. Okay, officials were less than here, more officials. We'll be meeting the officials shortly. Okay, important officials of Vedic age, we'll meet them shortly. Now, there were tribal assemblies called Vidhata, Sabha and Samiti, where the members of tribe used to hold popular discussions regarding the various aspects of the tribe, and the king by and large accepted the decisions made by the assemblies called as Vidhata, Sabha and Samiti. Now, as the powers of kings increased, the influence of Vidhata, Sabha and Samiti decreased. Okay? So, in later Vedic age, the importance of these tribal assemblies reduced. With respect to political organization, it started with the family. Okay, family was known as Kula. Kula was headed by Kulapati. Okay, so family or the basic unit of political organization was Kula, headed by the Kulapati. A group of Kulas together formed Grama, headed by Gramini. Okay, a group of Kula together formed a Grama, headed by Gramini. A group of Gramas formed a Vishya or a Vish, headed by Vishapati. Okay, so a group of Gramas formed a Vishya, headed by Vishapati, and group of Vishya formed a Rajya or Jana. Okay, Jana was a popular term. Okay, Rajya came later. Jana, headed by what was king known as? Jana, headed by Rajan. Okay, Jana headed by Rajan. Kula headed by Kulapati, Grama headed by Gramini, Visha headed by Vishapati, and Rajya or Jana headed by Rajan. Here the same units. Okay, however, the highest unit instead of Jana was Janapad. Janapad headed by Rajan itself. So the amalgamation of tribes by conquest, by marital alliances, after the sedentary based polity or territorial based polity emerged, okay, led to the territorial expansion of the tribes, okay, either by marriage or by conquest. Okay, so Jana, which was the highest political unit in early Vedic age, became Janapad in the later Vedic age due to the amalgamation of tribes. So this is the early Vedic age, okay, the polity, okay, and later Vedic age polity. So early Vedic age, the polity is tribal nomadic, okay, whereas later Vedic age is a territorial based polity. The powers of the kings are less. The major function is to lead the tribes in wars and battles, whereas elaborate set of functions and powers emerged for the king during the later Vedic age. Officials are very few, we will meet them shortly. The officials are more. Assemblies like Sabha, Samiti, Vidhata were very popular bodies of discussion where generally king adhered to the decisions undertaken by these assemblies. Whereas the power of the king increased during the later Vedic age, the importance of these assemblies decreased correspondingly. And whereas the territorial units or the political units are considered, Kula was the basic unit, Kula or the family, and Jana was the highest unit headed by Rajan. Whereas in the later Vedic age, it was the Janapad, okay, headed by the Rajan himself. We'll look at some political terms, okay, before we go into the other aspects. Dvija referred to the Varnas which are twice born. We'll see about Varna system in the society part. Kahapati, Kulapati, Dampati, okay, these are the various terms for the head of the family. Head of the family, who are generally wealthy householders. Okay, head of the family who are generally wealthy householders. Okay, these are the terms that is used for Gotra is an institution of Kaupen, okay, which traced the common ancestors between two individuals, and Gotra exogamy was followed. So no individual belonging to the same Gotra were allowed to intermarry. Okay, so Gotra exogamy was followed. So a boy and a girl, okay, they will trace their common ancestors. Okay, if they share a common ancestors, they are not allowed to marry. Literally means Kaupen. Okay, they will trace the common ancestors. Vidata was the General Assembly, a popular body of discussion from which Sabha and Samiti also emerged from Vidata. General Assembly of the tribes. Sabha was your administrative and judicial body. Okay, it undertook, these are all various tribal assemblies in which Vidata was more of a general assembly, Sabha was the administrative, executive and the judicial body, where important judicial decision, administrative and executive decisions were taken. Samiti was another body, okay, and its main function was to elect the king along with popular discussions. So these are all the important bodies of discussion. Okay, Vidata was the general assembly, Sabha was the administrative and the judicial body. Okay, and Samiti's primary purpose along with various discussion was to elect the king. Okay, this is the differences between Vidata, Sabha and Samiti, which are all tribal assemblies. And women were also allowed in Vidata, Sabha and Samiti. We'll see that in society, okay, and how it changes during the later Vedic age. I am talking about general assemblies. Okay, the tribal assemblies women were allowed. Okay, I am talking about general assemblies, the overall general assemblies, the nature of general assemblies. They had no bar on the entry of women. I am talking by and large the terms in Vedic literature. See, the terms Vidata, Sabha and Samiti are interchangeably used for various general assemblies of Rig Veda. Okay, Rig Veda corresponds to early Vedic age. Alright, so since the terms are being interchanged, we cannot be sure that in which women were allowed. Okay, I know you are talking with respect to old NCRTs, right? UPSC about allowing women. Really? I don't think there is a question on 1819 about all. See, that's what, no, the nature of pattern has changed. Earlier it was literally the NCRTs that were the source. Okay, so Sabha and Samiti, just remember their functions. Okay. That's what, no, like how is it important from exam point of view? I understand, but how is it important from examination point of view? You just remember what is needed. Okay, so the differences, as I told you, with respect to allowing women or no, okay, the terms in Rig Vedic age, what we are seeing here, this is with respect to Rig Vedic age, and the officials are few, the number of assemblies were 3. So Vidata was the general assembly, Sabha was more of an executive and a legislative body, okay, and Samiti, the primary purpose along with the discussion was with respect to elect the king. Okay, their allowance, the allowing of women, okay, it's differs from assembly to assembly, but by and large when you consider tribal general assembly, okay, in early Vedic age they were allowed, in later Vedic age restrictions were placed on women. This much you remember from examination point of view, that's more than sufficient. Alright, let us look at the various officials who were predominant in the early Vedic age and later Vedic age. Rajan, who is Rajan? King. Purohita, chief priest. Senani, commander. Rajapati, who is Rajapati? He was in charge of patchers. Spasa was the spy. Jivagriba, he was the head of police functions. Madhyamasi, he was the mediator of disputes. Gramani, head of village. Okay, Jivagriba is police. Madhyamasi is mediator of dispute. Okay, Gramani is village head. Okay, Bhagaduga is tax collector. Sangrahitri is the treasurer. Mahishi is the chief queen. Akshavapa initially was the dice thrower, and later on he got promoted to the position of accountant. Govikirtana was in charge of forests and games. Ratakara is the chariot maker, and Palagala was the messenger. Okay, Palagala was the messenger. Govikartana was in charge of forests and games. These on the left hand sides, these are the few officials who are mentioned in Rig Veda. Okay, on the right hand side, they were added in the later Vedic age. However, you can remember the literal meaning. Okay, you don't have to remember whether they belong to early Vedic age or later Vedic age. Early Vedic age, just remember the number of officials were less. As territorial based polity emerged, okay, there was need to have an elaborate set of administration, okay, in order to control the territorial based polity, and hence the number of officials increased. Okay, so these are the important officials of the early Vedic age and the Rig Vedic age. Let us quickly revise. Rajan, king. Purohita, Senani, commander. Vrajapati, in charge of pasture lands. Spasa, spy. Jivagriba, police chief. Madhyamasi, mediator of disputes. Gramini, head of the village. Bhagaduga, tax collector. Sangrahitri, treasurer. Mahishi, chief queen. Akshavapa, dice thrower, and later on he was also the accountant. Okay, Govikartana, in charge of forests and games. Okay, Ratakara, chariot maker. Okay, person who was in charge of chariots, and Palagala was the messenger. Now let us look at the economy of the Vedic age. Early Vedic age, we saw these people were tribal nomads, so the later early Vedic economy was pastoral nomadism with cattle as the symbol for wealth. Okay, so early Vedic age, the economy was pastoral nomadism with cattle as an indicator of wealth. Cattle as an indicator of wealth. Later Vedic age, since a sedentary based lifestyle emerged. Okay, before we go on, okay, limited agriculture was practiced. Okay, limited agriculture was practiced. In later Vedic age, since sedentary lifestyle emerged, extensive agriculture emerged with land as chief indicator of wealth. However, cattle also remained important. Earlier, wars and battles used to happen for cattle. Okay, in the later Vedic age, it was for the land. Okay, so the land was also a symbol of wealth. So this is with respect to the wealth symbol. Okay, so arts and crafts were again very limited. Okay, here well developed so what are the arts and crafts? Quickly tell me. Yeah, pottery, northern back Polish ware pottery. Yeah, then caves. I'm not getting what you're saying. Cave. No, they are not involved in cave architecture. Yes. Some other arts and crafts. Chariot making, good. See, this is the Iron Age. Okay, especially the from 1100 BCE onwards. Okay, so extensive use of iron. Okay, the extensive agriculture was fueled by discovery of iron. Okay, iron tools, iron plough. Okay, and further iron was used for constructing chariots in wars and battles purpose, right, in making tools and implements. All right, so chariot making, then what else? Metallurgy, that remains. Armor, all the chain of mail, etc. Yes, हाँ, chain of mail, armor में पूरा helmet, jacket. और क्या है इनके आर्ट्स एंड क्राफ्ट्स लेटर वैदिक एज में? Spoke wheel. Okay, chariot making में भी wheel, it's a part of chariot. Use of spoked wheel for chariots. Pottery हो गया. What else? See, what we studied in Harappa also will continue, right? Stone cutting, right? Leather tanning. Okay, stone cutting, leather tanning. Metallurgy is done. Okay, so these are the important arts and crafts that were flourishing during the later Vedic period, and primarily they were fueled by the discovery and the propagation of usage of iron in the Vedic economy. All right, so this is about the nature of arts and crafts. Then it was barter system. Same again here, barter system. Now with respect to taxation, no proper taxation system there was terms used for taxes, but not a proper setup was there. Here a form of taxation evolved. Though there are various terms in Rig Veda that corresponds to taxes, okay, a proper setup was not in place because it was a tribal and a pastoral economy, okay. The population was also less, okay. So though the terms used in Rig Veda are there for taxes, okay, their setup was very poor, okay, whereas a form of taxation started evolving. We'll see various taxes in the next slides. Form of taxation started evolving. I am telling there are terms for taxation, but there was no proper setup. Okay, having terms is very much different from having a elaborate setup of taxation. Now we saw the officials Bhagaduga and Sangrahitri. Bhagaduga was the Konta Bhagaduga? Tax collector, and Sangrahitri was the treasurer. Whatever tax was collected, he used to store it. So these were the later Vedic officials, right? So early Vedic age we have Bali, Bhaga, Shulka. These are terms are there, but what the nature of it, how it was collected is not there. Whereas later Vedic texts, okay, the terms are also there, the officials are also there. That means the taxation system was evolving. All right, we'll see those terms. Okay, so we'll see various terms associated with economic, and we will wrap up for today after this, because we have one more class after this. So now, as I told you, taxation system was still evolving, and Bali, Bhaga, Sulka, Bali or Bali are the three terms that are associated with Vedic age taxation. In later Vedic age, the terms are there, but the elaborate setup of taxation was not there. Even in later Vedic age, okay, the system was just set up in place. However, the system was still a work in progress. Okay. Bali refers to voluntary offering to king, or even associated with religious offering. Okay, voluntary offering or religious offering to the king. Bhaga, percentage or share of king in produce, agricultural produce. Now again, since it was pastoral nomadism, the produce was only for one cycle, or we saw the agriculture was limited, it was just a subsistence based. Okay, whereas in later Vedic age, evolved and a very well entrenched agricultural setup emerged in later Vedic age. That meant Bhaga would also be fixed, okay, over a period of time. Okay, when it is a pastoral nomadism, you will have various variables, especially with respect to the fertility of the land, how much it will produce, okay, because they are moving from place to place. Shulka, generally in early Vedic age, denoted value of something precious. Okay, value of something precious in Vedic terms. Later on, it evolved as a customs tax or custom duty. Initially it was value of something precious, later on it evolved as a custom tax. As I've told you, like these taxes in early Vedic age were not firmly evolved. Later Vedic age to an extent evolved, and from post Vedic age they were firmly entrenched into the administration of India. Now, Nishkas, Hiranyapindas and Manas are the terms used for precious metals like gold and silver, but some associate them with coins. However, they are precious metals, not coins, because coinage, the formal coinage was absent. Okay, the trade was barter system. However, these are precious metals, and these also would have been used as a medium of exchange in barter. Okay, rather than being used as a coin. Okay, these would have been used as a medium of exchange in the barter system rather than being coin, and these are the precious metals, okay, which are used. Okay, coinage was absent. Okay, so I put it in the bracket, so make note of that. These are the precious metals that are used as an exchange in the barter system. Shisha, lead. Trapu is tin. Rajata, silver. Hiranya is gold. Ayas, copper. Shama Ayas is iron. Okay. Shisha is lead. Trapu is tin. Rajata is silver. I wrote their chemical symbols. Rajata is silver. Hiranya is gold. Ayas is copper. Shama Ayas is iron. So these are the various terms that are used for various metals in the Vedic terminology. Let us look at some agricultural terms before we wrap up. Sira is a term used for plough. Sita is a term used for furrow. Datra, sickle. Titav, surpa is a term used for winnowing. Kulya and Kanitrima Apa is a term that is used for irrigation done artificially. Irrigation done artificially. Yava is for barley. Goduma is for wheat. Rihi is for rice. Tila is for sesame. And Plasuka is a technique of paddy transplantation that was predominant in the later Vedic age. Okay, Sira is plough, Sita is furrow. Okay, Datra is sickle, Titao is sieve, Surpa is a winnow, Kulya and Kanitamapa is the artificial irrigation mechanisms or irrigation that is done artificially by construction of embankments or dikes. Okay, Yava is barley, Goduma is wheat, Rihi is rice, Tila is sesame, and Plasuka is the technique of artificial paddy transplantation. Artificial irrigation mechanisms, irrigation that is done artificially by construction of embankments, dikes, to divert water from channels and ponds and lakes into fields. Okay, Kulya and Kanitrama Apar. Tila is sesame, til. Below that is Plasuka, the technique of artificial paddy transplantation or rice transplantation that was predominant in later Vedic age. The technique of paddy transplantation. Loudly. What is it? Okay. What does it mean? Evening time. So there will be term for everything, no? Subha, Sham, Rat. Okay, so there will be terms like, because this is a whole new language, okay, and this is Sanskritic terms, so it will be there for almost every aspect. Every aspect should be having marriage, divorce, inheritance, death, राइट. अभी सब पढ़ते नहीं बैठ सकते ना. What is important from exam, okay, or what has been asked and what can be asked, we have to see it. Generally agricultural terms are a hotspot for UPSC, like 2 years back Kulyavapa and Dronavapa, these are agricultural terms. Aragatta, Gatiyantra, these are the terms. Agriculture is one where they focus, so hence taking cue from that will focus on that. If they start focusing on marriage, divorce, we will study, there are 8 forms of marriages, 4 good forms, 4 bad forms. Okay, we don't study that because the chances of that being asked is this thing. But if at all asked, we'll start studying what are the 8 forms, in what does, so this thing. So these are the various terms. We'll quickly revise once before wrapping up. All right, so yeah. Bali, Bhaga and Shulka. What is Bali? Voluntary offering to the king, okay, and also it can also connotes to religious offerings. Bhaga, share of the king or in the produce, agricultural produce. Shulka, it generally in early Vedic terminology something precious. Over a period of time it evolved into a custom tax. Okay, remember taxation was still an evolving and a work in progress. Nishkas, Hiranyapindas and Manas, precious metals, okay, which was used as barter system or a medium of exchange, okay, not coinage. Sisa, Trapu, Rajata, Hiranya, Ayas, Shamayas, Sira, Sita, Faro, okay, to sow seeds. Datra, sickle. Titav, Surpa, Kulya and Kanitrimapa, the irrigation, artificial irrigation mechanisms. Yava, barley. Goduma, wheat. Rihi, Tila, Plasuka, technique of artificial paddy transplantation. Okay, we'll wrap it up here. Okay, and your next class will start from 2. What is it now? Okay, new term I learned. Thank you. All right, so we'll wrap it up today, and we'll continue with society and religion tomorrow, and then we'll move on from there. All right. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now or meet me in the staff room.